Hello, my beautiful people. I am just back to continue the last video about energy vampires. So, energy vampires part 2. Like I said in the last video, I did some research that I wanted to add, or I wanted to share with the last video that I did. And I mean, most of this research is from personal experience. However, I noticed that it does apply to most individuals. Now, watching this video, if you have anything else you'd like to add, please feel free to comment below. But also, please share, subscribe, and like this video so that this information reaches more people. As an intuitive being, I tend to do a lot of things that I don't understand at the moment, right? So a few weeks ago, I was searching for some content and I noticed the thing was codependency. Today, when I woke up, the dots were sort of connected. So what I noticed today is that when it comes to codependent relationships, a lot of the energy vampires, if you will, the narcissists, those people, anyone who is an energetic vampire, there's many words to describe them. But all in all, what I've noticed is that a lot of them tend to latch on as friends, partners, or anyone who gains a sudden interest. And sometimes it's not sudden. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's over the years, where they seem to fall under the radar. But it can be close relationships or relationships that happen from afar. With these people, it can come off as consistent or inconsistent, which was addressed in the previous video in part 1. You can get bad vibes from them or have a gut feeling that's telling you that something is wrong. You can feel as if you have to do too much to keep their interest, or they're doing too much to keep your interest. This can be through love bombing. They can come off as bipolar. It can also feel like a full-time job, as if you have to remain constantly aware. You have to constantly work on this relationship to keep it alive. And there can also be excuses. But please understand that these are not the only signs or the only symptoms of a toxic relationship or an energy vampire in your midst. So when it comes to an energetic vampire, I really want to focus on how this relates to codependent relationships. Again, this is not the only options. These are not the only variety. There is more. I just wanted to focus on this one. When it comes to a codependent relationship that is with an energetic vampire, it may feel as if this individual is trying to latch onto you, as if they are trying to be a part of your life. Like they were not welcomed, but they're trying to be welcomed. Or maybe they were welcomed. Again, this is not the only example. This is not a limitation. There are definitely more ways that this can happen. So when they're trying to latch on, it can easily be visualized as them trying to form a cord attachment. Now, you may not think of this in your conscious mind, but basically, if you are familiar with a cord, energetic cords, this is basically an individual that's trying to take an energetic cord that is on them and latch it onto you as like a parasite. Yeah, like a parasite. They're trying to latch onto you to get what you can give them. This can be seen in individuals that want to get to know you through dating, friendships, etc. But from personal experience, I have seen that this can happen when you try to help somebody out of the kindness of your heart, or somebody appears as if they want to help you. And in reality, when you take the time to acknowledge this connection, you may start to realize that you may feel like this connection is draining you, right? It's a fleeting connection, as if you have to work to keep it alive if you're actually interested in it. Either way, you may have a gut feeling that is kind of like a countdown, right? Where you connect with this person, You may be getting to know one another, or you may be sharing information with one another, but it's like in the back of your mind may be like counting the days, like how long is this person going to be around? You know, if you have to ask yourself that question with a connection that you're getting a bad vibe on, that is a clear sign. In the end, what I've noticed from personal experience, a lot of the people that are energetic vampires, they will stick around as long as they are getting what they want. And at the first sign of them not getting it, they're either going to love bomb you or they're going to disappear. Some of them will focus on getting what they need. Once they get it, they're gone. And then when they need that refill, they come back. This, when I think about it, this can be seen in on and off again relationships. This can be seen in on and off again friendships where you don't talk a lot. And there is a mixture of that where it can be healthy, but it can also be borderline unhealthy or even just be unhealthy. So it's up to you. You have to use your intuition to truly understand where your connection lies. A couple symptoms that I have picked up on my own from my personal connections, or from connections other people have spoken to me about, is you feel drained energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually. You just feel drained. You can feel unmotivated. You're not motivated to do anything, right? This can make you feel lazy, as in there's things you may want to accomplish that you may be passionate about, but you're not accomplishing them. You can feel fucked over, right? Like this person fucked you over. This can be during the interaction or after it. You can feel empty inside, as if you're giving everything that you have, but you're getting nothing in return. Personally, your personality may change, right? For me, like I said, a lot of this information I really connected today. And one way that I noticed, the reason I was able to pick up on this so soon is because I noticed that my personality was changing a little bit. The way I came off to the world was changing. Where a year or two ago, I was the type of person, I was motivating everybody. I was just happy, you know. Times are not always easy, but even personally, I was just always positive. And I noticed that was kind of slacking. So that triggered my research into this, right? Looking at myself internally. Another thing that I noticed, again, this is from my personal interactions and other people that I've spoken with, is you may have doubts. You're second guessing this connection. When it comes to this individual, you paired with that gut feeling, you may have doubts about what this person is telling you, about just the whole connection in general. And there is a difference between being led by your emotions. This is without your emotions. When your emotions are not involved, you can just feel uneasy, right? In your body, feeling uneasy and just not knowing about this connection. In your emotions, though, you can feel stressed, anxious, you can feel used, you can be unsure, going back to the doubt. And as this continues, your energy, the favors that you're doing for this individual, it may feel unreciprocated. It can feel one-sided, as in you're giving the best of yourself and this person is only showing up to receive it, and etc. You can feel unsupported, right? With a friendship, with a relationship, with any type of connection, it should be going both ways. There should be a balance. And if you are not if you're not receiving what you're giving, if you're not feeling supported in this connection, sure sign that you are dealing with an energetic vampire. I hate to say it, but we have a lot of parents, a lot of family members that are energetic vampires. And it's not fun admitting that, but these are the facts. Another symptom of dealing with an energetic vampire is having body pains, right? This can be in your heart. Your heart may be heavy. Your heart may be feeling empty. It hurts. your back, your shoulder. There's a lot of weight on your shoulder. There's pressure on your shoulders. Your head, you may have headaches when it comes to dealing with a specific person, thinking about this person. There are so many signs that our body will show us, and when we do not address these issues, when we do not address an unhealthy connection mentally, emotionally, that starts to show up in our body. And these are some of the signs. Another symptom that I noticed was loss of clarity, right? You have fuzzy brains. You can't really process a connection or how to approach a connection. You are questioning reciprocity again, right? Are you know, the person may be giving you something, but are they really giving you something? You know, questions like those that tend to come up. You may be feeling like you're being played a fool. You may have a fear of feeling like you're being used, right? And this may stem from the person that this person may come off as obsessive, possessive, super jealous. When you're dealing with an energetic vampire, you may be afraid. Your feelings may come off to you as if you're being used. You may feel like you're being used, and the person shows it as being super obsessive, super possessive, super jealous, etc. And they're not giving you space to interact with anybody else. On the flip side, if you want to know if you're an energetic vampire, how do you feel regarding this person? Are you afraid of losing them? Right? Do you feel as if your jealousy, because there is a form of healthy jealousy, but then after a certain point it starts to get unhealthy? Do you feel as if your jealousy is unhealthy if you have jealousy? Do you feel as if to keep this person in your life, you have to badmouth them or make them feel bad, degrade them? Do you feel desperate to keep this person in your life? These are a few symptoms of you being an energetic vampire or dealing with one. When it comes to giving and taking, this can be an obsession. It can come off as the person consistently wanting to receive or you consistently wanting to give. If there is not a balance between the two, as in, I don't mind giving a little more because I know eventually I'm going to receive a little more. If you're consistently worried about giving and taking, chances are you are dealing with an energetic vampire. When this lack of balance exists, it needs to be balanced out. It does. You can't just keep it shaky. It has to get balanced out. And there are a few ways to make this happen. But a few healthy alternatives before I get into the actual solutions would be to go through Reiki healing, getting your chakra balance to help balance it out. And of course there are a few things. But first things first, you have to decide what are you willing to accept. For individuals that get caught up with energy vampires, they're normally the ones that want to help others out, right? They're normally the ones that are willing to help others through their circumstances. But I am here to tell you, stop being Captain Save-A-Ho. Stop it. Now that we've gotten the first solution out of the way, let's go ahead and go through this list. The first way to address this connection is to check your feelings. How does this connection make you feel? Do you feel secure? Do you feel stable? Or do you feel doubtful? Do you feel as if a solution will not come? Do you feel as if you have to sacrifice yourself? And do you feel as if you're over exaggerating what you provide to this relationship, this connection? Do you feel Are you being told that you're over exaggerating? That's a sure sign of an energy vampire. After you ask yourself those questions, if you are self-sacrificing, stop. Stop self-sacrificing. Stop sacrificing yourself. Stop sacrificing your emotions. The only reason that this vampire is around is because they're finding what they need from you. And to stop that, you have to stop whatever you're giving. What are you giving in excess? Stop it. Boundaries. Set your boundaries. Say no when you need to. It's very hard. I'm still learning how to do that. But sometimes you have to say no to move forward. Sometimes you have to say no to start establishing boundaries with what you're willing to accept and not accept. Set boundaries with your time. How long do you plan on being out with somebody? Especially if you know that they're an energy vampire. Either if you're unable to stop meeting with them or stop whatever it is, set time limits. How long can you stay around this person without feeling drained? Set that limit, and from there move forward. Or if money's involved, how much are you willing to spend before you start to feel drained, before you start to sacrifice yourself and your happiness? Set those limits, set those boundaries. Make sure you develop healthy connections. When you have balanced connections, as we spoke in part 1, you're able to approach these individuals for guidance, for direction, for clarity, right? You can develop healthy connections with elders, friends who are real, family, etc. You can have these connections that help you understand more of this unhealthy connection, right? Girl, don't be hanging around them. Snake, watch yourself, We need people like that in our lives to help us address those connections that we don't need to be around, right? Approach the person. I'm not saying go to them and be like, you're an energy vampire. That is no way to reach a solution. But approach this person with how you feel, right? Have a conversation with them, and how that conversation goes will determine how this connection goes. Because believe it or not, I believe that many people who are energetic vampires, especially on a minor scale, on a minuscule scale, some of them may not realize this, and they may need your attention to correct these behaviors, right? So try to have a conversation, and if they are willing to adjust themselves, then that is a connection that you may be able to hold on to. If they're not willing to do that, or they're not willing to address their toxic behaviors, it's time for you to move on, boo. If this person is not willing to address their behaviors, you may have to cut it off. I mean, completely remove them from your life. And depending on the connection, it may be easy, it may be hard. But at the end of the day, we are no longer going to sacrifice who we are as individuals, right? If you love yourself like you say you love yourself, and this connection is draining you, there has to be a point where if this person is not willing to adjust any toxic behaviors or remove any toxic behaviors from the equation, you have to remove yourself and you have to cut it off. You have to take your power back and keep it moving. Period. If that's the road that you have to take, I say don't burn that bridge, right? During this connection, you should have been able to express yourself. If you were unable to express yourself, and you just have to cut it off, it is what it is. But don't burn that bridge. Don't wait till, okay, you don't want to change? I'm going to block you now, right? Don't use that opportunity to be disrespectful. Don't use that opportunity to start saying shit that you should have said a long time ago. Don't cuss them out. Don't disrespect them, right? Just cut it off. Move forward. Don't burn that bridge, but forgive. Do not burn that bridge. Don't gain a pair of balls when you're ready to cut this off, right? If all else fails and you don't know how to move forward or heal from this situation, if you don't know the best solution to take, or you are struggling with listening to your intuition, do a cord removal. Not a cord cutting, a cord removal. Remove the energetic cords of this connection from the roots, from your being. This can help end the situation or improve it. However, if you choose to go this route, please seek professional assistance from an energetic healer, right? You can definitely contact Amina from the first part of energetic vampires. You can reach out to me. I do not mind helping. And then you also have many healers that can assist with that. But at the end of the day, the best way to proceed is to seek assistance from spirit, right? We have a divine team that is always with us, willing to help us and direct us. It is nothing but it's nothing to reach out to them, to put a request, to do a prayer and ask them to help you get through this. The best way to proceed, right? So for now, this is all the information that I have as far as energetic vampires are concerned. It's not something fun to deal with, but it's definitely something that you can get through. There are many lessons that can be learned from this, and it's all a matter of being aware of who you are, what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, right? Seek the lessons. Don't burn bridges. Forgive. Move forward and continue to grow. I hope you enjoy this series. We're definitely looking forward to releasing more content. But until then, be safe, be loved, and love others.